Hey folks, it's your boy D here, and we're gonna talk about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And first and foremost, I know I haven't posted in a while. I've been incredibly busy with other things, of course. Life gets in the way, but I'm going to try and post some more, a little bit more often on thoughts and things that have been coming up. So anyway, let's get it going here. So last night, family and I went to the theater and saw Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and I tried my absolute best to stay free of spoilers and any type of reviews, which in this day and age is incredibly hard. And we also did one other thing before we went to the movies. We spent the past week watching all of the previous films, 1 through 8, as well as Rogue One. And I think I've been pretty vocal about saying that I am not a fan of J.J. Abrams. I'm not a fan of the whole Disney taking over Lucasfilm back when they purchased it in 2012. I had many concerns as far as how the direction of the movies would go. Um, but I'll even say to a degree, I did not like the prequels. Uh, but, anyway, those are stories and videos for another time. So, anyway, uh, like I said, I'm not a fan of J.J. Abrams. Before he did Star Wars, I did not like him when he did Star Trek. I did not like him when he did other movies. He has a very bad tendency to make very poor films quality wise. He has a way of doing exceptional visuals, and he has a way of uh, doing drama pretty well to a degree. But for the most part, for the very basic principles of storytelling, J.J. Abrams has a tendency to fall incredibly short. And he has done this for many, many years. Anywhere from Alias to Lost to any of his other projects, Mission Impossible 3 to the different Star Treks, like I said previously, and even with The Force Awakens. And the man's been incredibly successful. I can't take that away from him. He's been, for some reason, he's been successful financially. His movies have done well financially, and Hollywood seems to love him unforgivingly, which kind of shows how the state of Hollywood is in general. So, anyway, back to the main story here. I've rambled already. So, we went to the theater. Like I said, I saw a few headlines here and there, so went in, sat down, and we watched the movie. And after coming out, I have to say that I have to say that this movie was without a doubt probably the worst Star Wars movie of all 9, 10, 11, how you want to look at it. I actually like Solo to a degree, so if if you wanted to include that into the whole series, my thoughts on Solo was it was all right. Um, and this is a guy who absolutely did not like The Last Jedi, and I saw it for the first time in a couple of years yesterday, and it wasn't as bad. So I have a feeling The Rise of Skywalker will may grow on me, but and after initial thoughts, and after a few hours of sitting back and thinking on the movie, um, it was not very good. And I'll just leave it at that. I won't go into spoilers here. I will probably do another video with spoilers, and I might even have somebody here with me so we can talk about it. But just to give a quick, spoiler free review of the movie, once again, the movie has some fantastic visuals. If you could tell by the trailers, you have scenes that are just incredibly beautiful, with plenty of colors, from your reds to your blues to your greens. I mean, just phenomenally looking. But at the core of the movie, there were just a lot of things that fell incredibly short story wise, to the point where the movie just became absolutely nonsensical. Um, and when you see the movies as a whole, when you talk about the Jedi and the Sith and good versus evil and all that, this movie just went way beyond um, all that, the other movies were setting things up. Uh, it's safe to say, and this is not a spoiler, that we do see Palpatine in this movie. Um, and he comes early on, so it's not like he just showed up out of nowhere. He is in this movie, and I'll just say the movie just reeks of how movie making in general, it seems to be, within Hollywood, where uh, there seems to be a habit of putting, for lack of a better term, the cart before the horse. After seeing this latest trilogy, episodes 7, 8, and 9, it has become ever more clear to me that these three movies were made without some type of storyline in place, not even bullet points or anything to that degree. With the example of the Force Awakens basically being a rehash of Episode 4 being a very safe movie, and then Episode 8, Rian Johnson, um, did his own thing, and it seemed to me with Episode 9, a good portion of this movie was just trying to counteract the effects of Episode 8, which on a consistent level, when it comes to story making and in the trilogy, just comes off very uneven and sometimes awkward. Um, One thing in particular is like the romance between Finn and Rose Tico. Um, and once you see the movie, you know exactly what I mean. And like I said, in my spoiler review, I'll get into more and more detail on that. I didn't like it in episode 8. It just seemed kind of forced and unnecessary. And anyway, so other things in this movie just totally makes no sense. And then when we get into things like the Force, then now this Force has just gotten way out of hand. And if I were to give any type of example without giving things away, the way the Force is depicted in this movie is kind of similar to how Superman's powers were depicted in Superman 2. And what I mean by that is all of a sudden Superman's able to do a whole lot of things that nobody knew he could do. Um, and then, sure enough, this movie was kind of the same way. So, for those of you that remember Superman 2, you'll know what I mean. And for those of you that haven't seen it, by all means, go out there and watch it. Um, anyway, so on a story level, this movie was just all over the place. Just the characters need to go here, the characters need to go there. Plot points are brought up, and then just they're brought up and then repeated throughout the movie, and then totally left hanging and never come to any type of fruition at the end. So you have to ask yourself, what was the point in bringing it up in the movie? Because you would think, okay, this is gonna become an issue later on, and then nothing ever happens. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Um, and my reaction wasn't the only one. when the movie was over, my wife was disappointed. My son tried to take the positive route, the optimist route. He said the movie wasn't that bad, but he also said it wasn't good. So take that with you will. And a lot of people in the audience had the same negative reaction as well. So I don't remember too many people walking out of that movie feeling too good about it. So uh, it's unfortunate. I I have to feel that with Disney taking Star Wars the direction they have, it definitely leads that this is the finale. Uh, so the end of the Skywalker saga, which is kind of bittersweet. I grew up with Star Wars ever since the mid '70s until now for the past 40 plus years, and I've enjoyed Star Wars to a degree, uh, especially the original trilogy. Seeing that as a young lad. But now in my mid 40s, I think I've gotten into my old man phase where uh, my rose colored glasses tell me things were so much better back then. And and the stuff now is just as good as it used to be. My old man voice there. So, and who knows, maybe the movies will grow on me, but I highly doubt it. There was just too many things in this movie that were just left unanswered, unaccounted for, and just, for lack of a better term, just made no sense. And people were just way overpowered than what we've been believed to be. Um, as far as consistent wise, way too inconsistent. Uh, not as bad as Michael Bay movies, not as bad as the Transformers movies, but definitely not far off. So anyway, that's going to be it for me for now. Like I said, I'm going to post another video down the road, probably in the next day or so. Maybe, like I said, with a guest speaker, and we can talk about this movie with a whole lot of spoilers. And then you guys can watch that one too. So anyway, tell me what you thought of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. If you liked it, let me know, and if you can, tell me what you liked about it. We can have a dialogue. I would really like to know what you thought about the movie. So post it in the comments below. And if you liked what you heard about the Rise of Skywalker, you can hit that up button. If you didn't like it, do what you feel you must. But what you can do is you can subscribe to my channel and help me grow. And like I said, I'll promise I'll try and post more videos as the time comes, um, where I talk about movies, video games, and other things that comes to mind. You can also follow me on Twitter at _GXP, and you'll hear my random thoughts from just about anything going on. So, anyway, that's it for me. And until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.